You were talking about the idea of community care being revolutionary or an act of resistance. I was wondering if you could explain a little bit more about that idea, maybe for someone who's never heard of this concept before, even for people that don't know that much about social work,
Mm-hmm.
or haven't really thought too much about systems and society. What's being resisted? Why is it needed? And how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a great question. And I think one of the things that is being resisted is the myth that we have to do it all alone. And there's this myth that if we seek help, we are somehow less than or less than capable. When in reality, as I think I've mentioned, like I'm from a collectivist culture, like I grew up in a collectivist culture, and um I still feel very rooted in that. And so we aren't meant to do things um alone. And so I do see that as like one of the forms of resistance is like resisting that myth. um but then also one of the papers I actually wrote during wrote during grad school is about the ways in which neoliberalism is impacting our ability to create relationships with each other and intentional relationships. So it's resisting this culture of urgency and the culture of, as I mentioned, needing to do it alone. But it's doing that by slowing down and connecting with people and showing up for people and asking them um, what they need. So I think at the crux of it, it's resisting that we're only supposed to look out for ourselves and that we can only focus on our own growth to succeed. Because that was definitely something that I feel was taught to me either by the media or school, is that, you know, you gotta focus on yourself, and if you do that you'll be able to succeed. But um it was really interesting because I remember sitting there being like, oh, but I actually am doing this for so many people around me. Like I'm doing this. I've untied some of that now, but like I'm doing this for other people, and I want to also see my family, be happy and stable. And being a first generation immigrant, there's a lot of pressure there too, right? So um, I think there's some resisting um, Western notions of individualism and making it alone.
Kind of resisting the ideas that if you need help, that there's something wrong with you. And then also the idea that the kind of ultimate goal in life is to make a lot of money or have a really successful, quote unquote, successful career, which I guess would be mostly defined by money.
Mm-hmm.
Because those ideas can really hurt people that don't have the resources to be able to achieve them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it can really hurt communities to say that we need to do it alone. I think we can be really disconnected, and and saying that there is, something wrong with you if you're seeking help. That's so hard because vulnerability, I think, is important. And I know you've talked about Brene Brown's work in other podcasts. It requires vulnerability to say, we're not alone. We don't need to do this alone. And so, mhm. And
Okay,
courage, I
great.
think. And courage. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
courage to kind of look around at all of the subtle cues that you're getting from society and say, no, I actually don't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Absolutely.